Hello and welcome back to Scorpio Tech. In today's video we're going to be unboxing, assembling and testing the Cougar Armrest Royal Deluxe Gaming Chair. This chair features 180-degree reclining, adjustable tilt resistance, a solid steel frame, class 4 gas lift cylinder as well as a breathable PVC leather, various classy fabric accents and an included lumbar and head pillow as well. The Armrest Royal is available from about $290 or £210 upwards, so let's find out if this is the right gaming chair for you. As some of you may already know, I do personally prefer the ergonomic style office chairs over the sort of generic gaming chair format, but the stature and design of this particular chair did appeal to me as it wasn't overly flashy, but still had that sporty sort of racing chair vibe to it as well. Another thing that usually dissuades me from gaming chairs is the overdone branding, and whilst Cougar's logo is by no means hidden, it does somewhat resemble the Lamborghini badge which oozes class, quality and style, so let's find out if this chair lives up to the first impressions. The box was very well packaged with all important parts of the chair adequately protected to avoid any scratches or tearing of the material. I've got to admit that the lumbar and head support pillows were insanely soft and plushy, thanks to what I can only imagine is some kind of memory foam. As expected, we have our chair assembly guide which outlines the various parts included as well as step-by-step instructions. Although they aren't bad instructions, I feel that the various included tools could have been labelled a lot better to help speed things up, but to be honest with you, a bit of common sense is going to help you a lot during the assembly process. The base of the chair was very heavy, which is nice to see, with each of the 5 legs being protected nicely. All that's needed for this area is to attach the wheels, as you'll see very shortly. The lower part of the chair came with the armrest already attached, which is typically one of the more fiddly jobs, so I was pretty thankful for this, especially as I was assembling the chair alone. Talking of which, I didn't see any mention of the assembly requiring 2 people, but you will definitely save yourself some time if you have a second pair of hands at the ready. The included wheels are fairly standard, but they've definitely been well oiled up, allowing for smooth movements in multiple directions. As with practically any chair, the wheels simply have to clip into the base as shown here. They do require a decent amount of force to push in, but nothing too difficult by any means. After flipping over the base and placing in the piston, it was time to get to work on attaching the chair base to the chair backing. I thought this was going to be tricky, but it honestly took just a few minutes in total. The included L-shaped Allen key made screwing the sections together a piece of cake. Talking of, what is everyone's favourite cake? I'm personally a big fan of chocolate fudge cake. Anyway, slight digression, let's get back to business. Whilst I finish up tightening those screws, I've got to say that in the last year I've assembled 3 chairs, including the Autonomous Ergo Chair 2, which as some of you may know is my everyday chair, and the Anderseat T Pro 2, and this one was by far the most hassle-free for me, although I know this can vary from person to person of course. For example, there were no screws that didn't want to tighten or fit properly, and everything worked exactly as it should do to make the whole process as enjoyable as assembling a chair could ever be. Next up was to attach the chair's mechanics, if that is the right term, to the underside of the seat. This involved applying some felt padding washers and then using the remaining screws and the Allen key to secure it to the base of the chair. Once secured, then it was time to attach the base to the seat. Whilst it's definitely more conventional to attach the seat when the wheels are on the floor, I personally found it easier to do this with the seat laid down as the chair itself isn't as heavy as I anticipated. With all of the heavy duty stuff out the way and the chair lifted upright, it was time to place the lumbar and head pillows onto the chair, which is as easy as you would imagine. For the headrest, you can either go through the 2 holes on the chair, or you can attach it around the top of the chair depending on your height and your chosen seating position. As for the lumbar support, it was slightly more tricky to do this as you had to feed the clips through the gap between the back and lower sections of the chair, and then also through the holes at the top in order to secure them together. And there we have it, the completed chair. I know the design wouldn't suit everyone, but I find it's quite a nice balance between a subtle office chair and other racing style chairs. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, the chair features 180-degree reclining, 4D armrests, a nice high back design for extra support, as well as many other nice features and materials for a chair within this price range. However, I do have to say that there are a lot of options in the 200 to 300 price range with very similar designs and materials used. But that's not to say I wouldn't recommend it. The materials might look a little cheap close up, but I honestly found the chair extremely comfortable for long gaming sessions. Although with any form of leather it can get quite warm, especially in the UK summer months without any air conditioning. The detailing and stitching was very nice and the chair felt sturdy with no annoying squeaks or rattles from my own experience. As for downsides, I'm honestly not sure what to say. Some of the plastic coverings on the side felt quite cheap in contrast to the rest of the chair, and the 4D armrests are a little annoying to use, but aside from that, my overall experience with the Armrest Royale has definitely been a positive one. However, the question still remains, do I think that you should buy this particular chair? And my honest answer to that is yes and no. Let me explain. There are many chairs on the market like this, a lot of which use similar materials and components, so for this price the comfort value is going to be somewhat similar on each of those chairs, so I would honestly pick something out that you actually like the look of as well. However, buying chairs online can be tricky, and often risky as a chair is something that you don't want to get wrong, not only for comfort reasons but also for the health of your own back. I would always recommend an ergo chair over a gaming chair, however Cougar have done a really good job with this particular model, and I could definitely recommend it if you're in the market for a black and gold gaming chair. So that pretty much wraps things up. Thank you for watching and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider liking and subscribing if you did, as it really does help the channel grow. I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye.